Hi, welcome to SBR Sports Picks. He's Mike Brenner. I'm Peter Loshak. We are the odds couple. Today is Tuesday, March 7th, and Mike Brenner and I are wrapping up now our seeding trends preview round of seeding trends series of videos, and this one's going to be a preview of the 8-9 seeding matchup. And this is actually, you might think that there's not much to say here. There's actually quite a bit that might surprise you a little bit. As you know, Mike Brenner, I did my deep homework on this.
No, you did. You were crunching numbers. Hell, I don't think you slept, Pistol Pete.
I have some interesting stuff to say about this.
You woke
Man,
me up
I'm looking
something
at these results. I'm telling you, Mike, this is interesting stuff.
Well,
right
lay
here.
it on us, Mike.
All right,
Don't hold back.
I told you that over the last 6 years, the 11-6 matchups and the 12-5 matchups were very 50-50ish as far as who advanced, right?
Yes.
But then I hit you with the 10-7s. The 7s actually had an advantage in advancing. Not last year. Last year they were 2-2, but they had an advantage. And now in the 8-9 matchup, over the past 6 years, how many 8 seeds have advanced out of the 24 games? How many times did the 8 seed advance out of 24 games?
8.
16 advanced,
Oh, my
actually.
God, I was way off on that one.
Yeah,
Wow.
So oddly, the 8 seed has had a pretty strong advantage as far as advancing. Now, last year, that wasn't the case. It was they were 1-3. So last year, 3 9 seeds advanced. But
still, in
how
that
close they are,
6-year window, though, that's pretty dominating.
The 5 years before last year, the 8 seed actually advanced 15 out of 20 times.
So where's it trend this year, Pistol?
I don't know. Again, there's obviously some variance there that's due to. And again,
like
last
that.
year,
You did go deep.
Last year, 3 9 seeds did advance. So I wouldn't go crazy with this and pick all 8 seeds to advance or something. But it is definitely a trend worth noting. 16, the 8 seed is 16-8 straight up over the past 6 years, and over the ATS-wise, most of the seeds that we've discussed have been very 50-50 ATS-wise. But in the 8-9 matchup, there is a pretty pronounced trend favoring the dogs or the faves. Which do you think it favors, the dogs or the faves?
Oh, my God. You know what? I think it's going to favor the dogs, Pistol.
That's right.
I
Over
really
the past
do.
6 years, the dogs are 15-8-1 ATS, but over the past 3 years, just 6-6 ATS. So they were 9-2-1 ATS, 2011, 2013. And then the last 3 years, it's evened out.
And
so
again,
that
it makes you wonder which way is it going to trend. Is it going to pick back up that way, or is it going to stay, kind of monotone? So.
And here is the thing that is really a little bit weird. In last year's video, I mentioned that in the 8-9 matchups, as you would expect, there are a lot of close games close to the spread, but closer than normal. Over in 2014 and 2015, 4 out of the 8 games came within 1 point of the point spread, which is unbelievable. And I mentioned that last year. And then last year, there out of the 4 games, another game came within 1 point. So out of the past 3 years, out of the 12 games, 5 games came within 1 point of the point spread. That is
very
really
rare.
Hard to do.
Very rare. That is weird.
Right.
Wow.
And so in general, there's a lot of close games, and the other games that are involved in this matchup also tend to be close. So
you know what? I think that's why maybe, Pete, they call it March Madness.
Yeah,
just because of things
crazy
like
stuff.
that.
But
It's
if you
wacky,
know about
baby.
it makes more sense if you know about it. So I'm thinking that sometimes with these, you like to do teasers, right, Mike Brenner? Yeah. If you're liking a team in the 8-9 matchup, maybe think about teasing it, because that's where if you're getting an extra 6 points, that can give you a big advantage, because
sharp.
A lot of these come within 1 point, and the ones that don't come within point also tend to come within 4, 5, 6. A lot of games really, really close.
And you know what?
To the
It wouldn't even matter if you're using a 2 or a 3. There's enough point variance between both of them. You could even get a more secure and a tighter, better advantage on a 2-teamer, a 4.5 point or something.
And so as you would expect, there's a lot where a lot of 9 seeds that are favored. Actually, last year, all 4 of the 9 seeds were actually the favorites, and all 4 of the 8 seeds were underdogs. The spreads do tend to be very close. A lot of over the past 2 years, every spread was 4 points or less. That makes sense considering the matchup 8-9. But those are some things to think about for the 8-9 seeds. The 8s have had a distinct advantage in terms of advancing. Not last year, though. The underdogs have had a distinct ATS advantage, not in the last 3 years. And in general, a lot of really close games. So think about selling points or teasing.
Selling point, exactly, and that's very, very important.
All right, so those are the seeding trends I came up with, Mike Brenner. And then as far as the projected 8 and 9 seeds, we got the usual suspects here: Wichita State, Miami, Florida, Virginia Tech, Dayton, VCU, Michigan, Northwestern, Arkansas. Out of those teams, the first one that jumps out at me is Wichita State. They might be a strong team this year.
I think so. And you've had a good eye on them the last 4 games, 5 games, and the other night they just proved it to me again. Yeah. So I'm with you on that, Pete. And there's one team I think that I think could get crushed, and that's Northwestern. I'm just not sold on that team. And I can even see. I like Arkansas as well. I really do. That win against Georgia, they proved something to me, coming off that loss against the week before. And I think they're going to make some noise quietly, but I think that line's going to be tight, Pete. I don't think Arkansas, you're going to see anything too spread out.
So I mean, when you look at this group, not counting Wichita State, but they're all kind of good, but also definitely with some clear negatives.
Yeah, look at Miami.
I mean, and you can see why these spreads will be relatively easy for the odds makers to set, and that the games are probably more likely than not to come down to close to the spread. So I could see this group once again seeing a lot of close games, close to spreads, maybe value with the teasers involving these games.
And another thing, when you get to the 8 and 9, there's a lot of these teams look for the rosters that have more younger players. They're the ones that are going to struggle. It's like the Miami, where their strength is, it's not with their youth. They do not have a bunch of up-and-comers that are playing like seniors. Those are the ones, I think, at this level, Pete, they let it get in their head and they get a little nervous. And
although Wichita State's big year was when all their big players were juniors and sophomores, and when they were seniors, they actually didn't do that well. So
this is true. And again, it varies. It's just something to put out there because, again, like Michigan's got a lot of youngsters. And again, but this is a team that has tightened up their three-point defense so dramatically that I think that momentum carries them. I think that's another team that might be dangerous in that bracket of 8 and 9.
Yeah, we also might see, just looking at these teams, we might see a good amount of low-scoring games here. Northwestern, Miami, Florida, very defense-oriented. Michigan, again, they're tightening up their defense. VCU can be defense-oriented. Wichita State can be very modest scoring. So again, if you're expecting low-scoring games and games close to the spread, that's where teasers can have even more value. So an interesting matchup, 8-9. It's not just a big bag of randomness that you shake up and pull teams out of.
Pistol. Doug Upstone will be proud of you with those stats. My God.
All right, so that's it. This wraps up our series. Mike Brenner, any parting words?
I hope it's been helpful to our viewers, and I like what you said about when you get to these, to the 8 and 9. All right, these teasers might be an angle. That might be an edge to beat that bookie. So guys,
unusually close games in the 8-9 matchup. All right, Mike Brenner.
It's madness and it's wacky, but guys, bet responsible. Don't get out of control. We hope you enjoyed the video. Hey, don't miss out on the best basketball betting content available on YouTube. Click our logo button on the bottom left to subscribe. And as always, guys, give us a like and drop your comments below because we want to hear from you. Visit our website to take advantage of all our free products.